Hello everyone, my name is Michael Young and welcome back to Factorio. So we are having a death spiral, as one does, where we can no longer produce power fast enough to continue producing fuel. We don't have enough fuel to power these machines so that we can continue to produce fuel. Now what is the issue? It looks like it's on this side. We don't have enough charcoal getting through. Okay, well there's some things we can do. We saw earlier that these were not fully compressing. So let's go ahead and just make sure that's happening better. Okay, that's fully compressed. And down here. That's still not fully compressed, but these are all busy. It's working towards being fully compressed. So that's fine. There's nothing to do out here. Eventually I want to move over to fuel oil, but that can wait. Let's go, not windmills. Let's go ahead and do some solar. We haven't made a single solar panel this game yet. Do we have solar panel? Wait a minute. No, we never researched it yet. Okay. Should I make windmills? I'm kind of underwhelmed by windmills. Nothing's backed up. I mean, we could just replace all of the furnaces and machines with blue and get some efficiency. Maybe I should have left more space so that this could not. Right now, if we improve this system to make it so that I can produce more cellulose fiber, it won't be able to go anywhere because this belt's already fully compressed. And we are eating up the entire belt with these 8. No, this isn't something that's going to be solved here. Let's shut all this down for now. So science is turned off. That should fix some of our power problems, because these will all back up into the machine. It'll take a while. We could make windmills. I'd rather not. I'd rather push forward new technology and all that. So this will all stop. as the mineral sludge ends up being backed up. That's fine. This will keep going forever because we always will generate mineralized. I kind of wish it wouldn't. Maybe just turn that off for a little bit. Okay, that should dramatically reduce our power consumption over time. It'll take a while to get going. Which gives us an opportunity to go ahead and build up. Why is this not going better? Because these are all going slow now. Yeah. These death spirals suck. They're really difficult to arrest once they get going. So my plan for expansion had been to use fuel oil. Let's just look at that for a moment. Well, essentially to use solid fuel. Well, but generated from fuel oil. And you can get that from many ways, but the one I cared about was from vegetable... No, not from vegetable oil. From nutrient pulp. Which will make other products I don't need. Nutrient pulp you just get from smashing up fruits and corn and stuff. And a very small amount from leaves. And the other thing I could do instead of turning into fuel oil is I could turn it in... No, that's it. All I can do is turn it into fuel oil. What was I thinking? I was thinking you could... get it from vegetable oil. Where's vegetable oil from? From raw vegetable oil, which is from nuts. Okay, so beans can turn into nutrient pulp or raw vegetable oil. Do I want to mess with this right now? I mean, what do I need? I would need a... This happens in an oil refinery? Really? No, that happens there. This happens, or this just happens in a gas refinery. Can I make one of those? Yes, I can. I just made it. There it is. I don't know which of these is better, but this is the one that gives you the most fuel oil. Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't even know why I'm building it down here. Let's build it up there. We'll bring the charcoal to it for now. Eventually we'll work it all out. And the pulp. Where do we get the pulp from? What makes the pulp? Filtration unit does. No, that's vegetable oil. Nutrient pulp generally comes from a nutrient extractor, which I haven't made one of yet. Steel. This is still not fully compressed. Are these ever backed up? They are. It's just purely they aren't able to output fast enough, not about compression. Oh, they moved. I was like, where'd it go? That should help a little, maybe. Ooh, it's really starting to get bad. Ah. These should be backing up. Why aren't they backing up? Bit more steel. I mean, if I replace the furnaces, that would be good, I guess. I mean, it would stop having to use so many wood chips to keep them going. But they don't even burn that much. I don't want to bother. This is having trouble with compression, but I think it's purely just because of electricity. I didn't even get the nutrient extractor. That's our emergency fiber there. If needs to be, we can just drop it in, and that will work. Looks good. Well, looks bad, but bad in a way that I understand. Still no extra gardens, but we're getting a decent amount of tokens. We have corn. We have a lot of corn. I guess we can start processing the benefran to beans. We have a ton of no aubergines. I don't know what to do with the glycerol at the moment. I don't think I have any good recipe for it. Or glycerol. Why am I glycerol? What am I saying? No, I don't need explosives yet, so we'll just flare it away. I don't have a flare. Okay. These are not expensive. Well, they are expensive, but I have resources now. Okay, then with the fuel oil, where does that happen? This happens in a liquefier. Okay. Well. Yeah, it takes some time too. But this process turns charcoal, which has a fuel value of 5, into solid fuel, which has a fuel value of 25. It's a 5 times multiplier, as long as we can keep supplying enough biomass. Which does, of course, require power, so it's not free energy, but it's pretty cheap. And we still haven't produced any extra seeds. The 5% chance of 1 extra seed. And that's all the corn. Wow, that went by fast. From beans. They go through that pretty quick. I mean, not as fast as the carbon. The carbon just zooms away, but... by no means have we solved our problems. especially when it's all hand carried. Yeah, we're gonna need to produce a lot of corn. Huh. Maybe we should... I think we're gonna have to do that. Let's spend some time setting up a nice little farming area right here. So we'll need farms. Preferably the expanded farms, but those require steel, a lot of steel, 40 steel per farm. And then more for each upgrade. Well, we can at least make the basic ones first, and then upgrade as we can. It always goes one further than you want. I think we need to do some math here, because I'm not sure of the ratios. Like, so this nil aubergine, we still haven't figured out how to build more than one farm. We only have enough for one farm. Enough seeds to keep one farm going full time. Not even that. But Benefran, we can just make all over the place. Let's go ahead and process that. Benefran's the corn, right? Or am I wrong? Benefran is beans. Let's do the corn. So this actually creates dust, which is interesting. We'll switch this over to the other thing in a moment. That's all done. Pips. What are pips for? Pips are raw vegetable oil and a small amount of nutrient pulp. But then we have to filter the oil to get it to work with ceramic. Yeah, I need to look at this and figure out whether that's worth doing. Because that gives you base mineral oil instead of this glycerol that I don't need. base mineral oil I can turn into like many things. Synthesis gas eventually. Switch this back to Deodillion. Power seems fine. Things must have backed up fine enough. Finally. Yeah. Our electrolyzer stopped. Let's at least turn it. Let's turn this back on. Just to get the the next steam engine. Then we'll upgrade this entire array. Why isn't this going anymore? No, none of that. Okay. We'll see what the problem is there. Lack of mineralized? Yep. We have a reserve at least, when the next spiral starts. Okay, but let's look at this. Solid fuel. Get my thing up. Let's assume the charcoal's free. We're just gonna make solid fuel from fuel oil. So 50 fuel oil is 2 solid fuel in 4 seconds. We're using liquefier 1s. So that would be 1.5. And I know we've done this many times. This going now? Good. It does change occasionally, the appearance of this, but not in a way that's obvious to me. Like it does it at like 10% and 90% or something. Okay. Next step up. Well, there are multiple next steps up. That's the question. That's the whole point. Is that the fuel oil comes from multiple sources. So clearly, I don't want to do this because right now, eventually, it'd be great to be able to use acetone to get plastic. Let me get bioplastics going. That'd be really good, actually. But, not now. And I don't think I have a use for synthesis gas yet. I haven't discovered it. I could get this. Turn it into methane. That's tempting. That needs natural gas liquids, too. I could turn it into more solid fuel. That'd be great. Eventually. But for now, the recipe of choice for fuel oil is nutrient pulp or vegetable oil. So let's do this one first. 100 vegetable oil becomes 70 fuel oil and 30 base mineral. Takes 4 seconds. It's nothing. It's in a oil refinery, which I never thought I'd need to make one. Which is a speed 1. I'll go ahead and work it out, even though it's just do it properly. Alright. And that also, okay, I did get the base mineral oil included. Alternatively, 100 nutrient pulp becomes 60 fuel oil and useless things, so we won't bother to mess with it. This happens in a oil gas refinery, which is of speed 1.5. That's actually really fast. I was thinking that these refineries were slow. Just the recipes are slow. That's as fast as a liquefier. Okay. Stepping back to the veg. No, let's do that way first. Let's do the. What am I saying? From the pulp. So different ways of getting pulp that are relevant to us. 10 pips are 20 pulp. And something that's 4 and 1. I can't make fruits. Fruits are from. Well, I can make fruits. I just don't have them. And actually, that's really tempting because that would give me fiber too. Right? That's desert. But these two are marsh or swamp or temperate farming, which I can't do. Okay, well, let's connect that. So 10 fruits are 60 pulp. And again, 4 seconds. And the same thing. So fruits are actually a much better way of getting pulp than pips. What's the benefit of pips? Ah, they also give you dust. Okay. Beans. Become 80 pulp. That's really good. Wow. Okay. 10 beans to 80. And beans, well, they're from corn. No, they're from Benafrid. They're the ones that can go the other direction, so let's deal with this first. Corn. Comes 70. Can't make leaves, right? No, that's a different farming technique. Right? That's temperate. Swamp. Temperate. We get a little bit back when we do the filtering, which is going to be complicated. Or apparently only if we do the charcoal filtering? No, if we do both filterings. Let's deal with this. Nuts. Can I make nuts? I guess I can. Arumbophilia. Arumbophilia gives me nuts, corn, and crystal dust. Oh. But they need fertilizer. And saline water. Okay, let's just ignore them. I don't want to deal with that right now. That seems complicated. Well, no, the fertilizer is complicated. I don't want to deal with that process. I mean, we set it up here because, but we're going to have to deal with, why is these stopped? Why are you stopped? You ran out of fertilizer because you ran out of compost. No, because you ran out of urea. Because you ran out of ammonia. Because we ran out of hydrogen. Of all things. Because this stopped. There we go. All these complications, I'm just trying to, you know, play the game. Alright, let's look at the arumbophilia. Where is it? It was a way to get pips? No. It was the one between the two filterings. Nuts. Okay, 10 nuts are 50 raw vegetable oil or 40 pulp. 40 pulp. Okay, and do we look? Does that corn have multiple uses? That can make fermentation base, which can make compost, which I don't need. That's fermentation base is all about getting the gas out of it. So never mind that. I don't care about the gas at the moment. So corn only goes one way. Nuts, pips becomes vegetable oil too. Oh, beans also become raw oil. Okay. Only 30 though. That's a much worse ratio than the pulp. That's interesting. So switching from charcoal to ceramic actually changes your yield of vegetable oil. It switches, so 100 becomes 180 and 20 versus 100 becomes 160 and 40. And the oil is worth more. So ceramic all the way. So 100. Yeah, but now we need the next one, the steam engines. That requires so much steel. We better go get some more steel going. I don't know why everything seems to be working okay right now. I mean, this is the exact same setup as we used to have, and it's not spiraling. I don't know. In fact, we have a ridiculous amount of excess capacity. It's because it's because we're not producing any landfill. And this isn't working. Why is this not working? Plenty of mineralized. No purified. Interesting. That is interesting. Let's see. Because these are shut down, of course. They're not generating purified water. Let's go ahead and let it make landfill. Never mind. Let's not mess with this. Let's just go ahead and clarify everything that's creating. I was thinking of trying to feed them into each other, but that would cause potential problems. Okay, so we're going to have power problems again in a moment. Go ahead and store some charcoal, please. And we're still building up a ton of prime diodilans. Here. No extra gardens yet. Wow, those extra gardens are pretty rare. We've made 30 attempts and we've gotten one extra garden, and it's a 5% chance. I guess that's not unreasonable. Okay, back to the work. The math. What were we doing? We were looking at making the solid fuel by like from the vegetable oil. Did we ever just do this one? I don't think we did. No, we did. 100 becomes that. Okay, we were doing 100 raw oil and 100 purified. And really more than that. It's 150 purified for the filter too. Becomes 180 oil and 20 pulp. That takes 4 seconds. It happens in a thing that's of speed 1.5, so just like all the rest. Right there. I did that wrong. No, I did that right. That's right. That's fine. Just need another one right here. This is all about working out ratios. I really just want to see the working out the number of machines I need. I really just want the ratio and the total gain from farming each of these things. Okay, and the pulp itself, we dealt with that already. Okay, now we can deal with each of our plants in turn. So we'll start with the beans. Beans are binifran. So I just want to see the yield of a single farm. No, I should go ahead and do it properly. 5 binifran is 35. I'm sorry, binifran seeds is 35 binifran. 60 seconds in something that will be speed 1, so I'm just going to go with that. We'll assume that we'll be able to get enough. What am I saying? We'll assume we'll get enough steel to make them all the higher tier. So a farm produces 0.58 binifran a second. To get the seeds, we have to we need to spend 10 binifran. In 0.5 seconds? Really? In 0.5 seconds? That's really fast. And something that's of speed 1.5? Or speed 0.75? So one of these could support quite a few of those. In practice then, when we actually get the binifran and turn it into beans, so 10 binifran comes 6 beans, 4 seconds, or it can just be composted, of course, but that'd be wasteful. In a bioprocessor, which is slow, and there's no upgrade to it. So we might need a few of those. Ah, that's the wrong thing. So each of these can take 1.8 per second, and we're producing them at a rate of 0.58. So that's not the best ratio. Even then, it's not. We're not. That's not actually the ratio. So let me just think about this. So we're gonna produce 35 binafran. Then we're gonna take. We need 5 seeds. So we need to take 9 of those seeds, 9 of those binafran, and turn them back into seeds. 9 and a ninth. Yielding that many binafran total. This is all per second. Per second. No, it's not per second. It's total binafran. Let's do it binafran per second then. So we're not actually getting 35. We are getting 0.58. 0.58 binafran per second. And we actually don't need 5. We need 0.08. So 0.15 of those go back to, per second. Go back to seed. Our 0.15 per second go to a seed extractor, which turns back into seed. Which means we have a net of 0.43 binafran per second for a single farm. Then our options with the binafran, it's turned into beans. So 10 beans, where are those? I did it right there. So we have that many binafran per second, which will become that many beans per second. Almost a quarter of a bean per second. That seems kind of pitiful when you put it in those terms. An entire farm field can generate, well, I don't know, but per second? That's a lot of beans over a day. I don't know if that's at all realistic in terms of actual farming. Anyway, so then from the beans, we have 2 options. And then we're going to calculate both options. So, straight to pulp. We would get that times, well no, we'd get that divided by that times that, which is terrible. Actually, no, that's good. Beans are one of the better ones, right? 10 to 80. So that would give me that much pulp per second. And from there, I would turn that into .24 fuel oil per second per farm of binafran with its accompanying infrastructure. Alternatively, if we were to go to vegetable oil, or to raw veg oil, we would go it would be this. No, it would be that many beans per second. That much raw oil. Ah, good. Let's turn off research. I'm not going to turn anything else on. Just let it accumulate until we feel more confident. So that much, it's going to give me a bit less than 1 raw veg oil per second, which we will then turn into actual veg oil. And pulp. And 0.154 extra pulp per second. Which will feed back on itself a couple times in a frustrating way. We'll calculate it out a couple times though. Sure, why not? Before we just assume the residual. There's probably a better way to do this. It seems like something that needs calculus. Because it's like a series that takes the previous element, or whatever. Or, yeah, I don't want to bother. It's been too long since I had to figure out what an integral was. So it'd be that much pulp per second, which we're going to again turn into fuel oil. Or turn into raw vegetable oil. No, that was wrong. It's this much pulp, which we will turn into raw oil. Alright. Where did I do that? Oh, you can't. Never mind. It's just an alternate way of getting the pulp. Pulp doesn't actually come back around. Oh, that's convenient. Good. Then we can just turn that pulp into fuel oil. Okay, and the vegetable oil itself, we will turn into fuel oil also. And some base mineral oil. Yielding a total of which is less. Straight to pulp is better. I guess the virtue there is you get the mineral oil too, or the, what is it? The base mineral oil. But yeah, you should not go to filter all that yet. Well, not with binifran at least. Now you have to check the others. So pips are from nilaubertines, but I'm just gonna assume that they're worse because one, they're harder to deal with. And they produce crystal dust. Yeah, I'm just gonna assume anything that produces crystal dust also is gonna be worse, because that's going to be where some of the mineral goes, some of the energy of the plant. So let's ignore that. Okay, corn, which I have a lot of hope for. This was all binifran. Let's do the same calculation for corn. Except for corn will be less complicated. So, to get corn, we have to go to prime deodylians first. So it'd be very simple to write here. Okay, and the next step from there is to make corn, or seeds, which is the same ratio exactly. So we can just steal it again. Or turn it into corn, which is again the same ratio. And then the corn, fermentation based, but we're ignoring it, becomes nutrient pulp, which we already have calculated up there. So, just working these out. For a second. Yeah, we're getting that much net per medallion. Same as before. Yielding this much eventual corn per second. Is it the same number? Yeah, it is. 0.259. Okay. I kind of feel like I should have research going or something because we're actually... Let's just set something. Bioplastics? Pump jacks? I don't need plastics anytime soon. Circuit network wouldn't be terrible. Inventory size, good, good. All this stuff. Wait a minute. We were going here for a purpose. We were going here for steam engines. Did we get that? Yeah. No, that's engines. I don't even remember what we just got. Did we get electric generator? We did. Good. Okay. Let's go towards the next boiler then, I guess. Needs MVAR, but... Oh well. And let's get that going. Which were the better ones? These. No. Just that one? Or the ones... That was a weird way of doing it. Why was I doing it that way? Probably because I wanted it to be at the front, so the more efficient ones come first. That makes sense. Alright, let's continue on with the whole mathing out the corn stuff. I don't know why I'm walking back down here. This puts me in a farmer frame of mind, so I can actually think about it, right? Okay, so after the next step after corn is not the is going straight to pulp, right? There's no oil. Yeah. So straight to pulp would be going up to here. Would be that times that times that. 1.81 pulp per second, which is 1.09 fuel oil. Which is worse. So I should be doing Binifran, not corn. Oops. At a minimum. I mean, we might find that it's better to do yet another one, but certainly Binifran is better in terms of nutrient pulp. What are my other options? So I said I wasn't going to bother with that, so let's still not bother with it. Zello squash is going to be similarly complicated because it needs fertilizer. And it's like the no aubergines because it's got the dormant seeds. So we need to get that going. We definitely should start trying to produce more dormant seeds, but not something I want to deal with right now. Rumbophilia will have the same deal. And it's even more complicated because it needs saline, not just regular water. And fertilizer. Maybe I'm being a bit too hesitant to care about the fertilizer ones, because all it really needs is compost. Oh hey, we produced an extra one! Awesome! We can get another one of these, producing that. But this just needs compost, right? Two compost each? No, one compost per fertilizer. And compost is just any random thing. I see. It did change how it looked right then, and it's moving a little bit. I wish it was a bit more high resolution so you actually see it grow over time. That'd be cool. But I guess this is what this was. It wasn't in the previous C block, so I'm assuming. I mean, I know it's from Angels, not from the actual C block itself, but I'm assuming it must be relatively new in Angels that it didn't make it into the last C block. I don't know. Anyway, we're over time, so I'm going to stop. Well, I think either next time or between parts, we'll have to look into the other two, the Zello squash and the Rumbophilia and the aubergines, just to see if they're significantly better. Otherwise, I think we're going to have to set up a Binifran farm. Yeah, we'll see how that works. So thank you, everyone, for watching. My name is Michael Young, and this is Factorio, using the C Block mod pack on 0.16.